Hello. Welcome to another glorious edition of That Dude podcast with Tom Byron, me, that dude. And That Dude's podcast is sponsored by Green Genie, greengenieny.com. Go there for all your cannabis needs. They got gummies, they got cooking oil, they got all kinds of shit to get you high. And it's good stuff. I'm debating because usually this is the time that I wind down for the evening, and I take like a gummy or two. You can't really see them because of my background, but I'm debating on whether to take one during our broadcast tonight. It might be a bad idea because they're like 100 milligrams and they're really fucking strong, but I don't know. Maybe I'll decide that later. Anyway, our guest tonight is a girl that I really, you know what? A woman that I always really enjoyed working with. And I didn't work with her enough to get bored with her. So, and she's got an interesting story. And we actually have another thing in common that I'll tell her about once I bring her on. But right now, let's say hello to Tyffany Million.
Hi, Tommy.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. So good to see you again.
I know. How long's it been?
30 years.
Wow. So you were in the business what years?
1992 through 1995.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
I had shot Vanessa Chase her episode earlier today. Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. I'm gonna get text throughout this, so just ignore the bing bing and the
Okay.
ding ding. Yeah, I had Vanessa Chase on earlier, and she was around that same time. Do you remember her?
I know the name. I don't think I ever met her.
Yeah, real pretty girl. She had short hair, did everything. You know, but she wasn't in the business that long. But I like to have people on my podcast that I enjoyed when I was in the business, and have an interesting background, interesting story, which you do. You started before you got in the business. You were in the wrestling business.
Yes, I was one of the stars of the television show Glow, the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling.
Right.
And I still have a
Yeah.
fan base from that show, too.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I have a little, wrestling background in that I was co-founder of XPW, which was around 99 to about 2003. And Rob just brought it back a couple of years ago. So I do the editing, video editing for XPW.
Is that
So,
right? Had no idea.
Yeah. Never got in a ring myself. I'm too accident prone. Let me ask you, did you have wrestling training or go to school or anything like that to learn the moves and whatnot?
Before I went to Glow, I had no experience with wrestling whatsoever, and they provided the training while we were there.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I have to admit I'm not too familiar with Glow. I'm certainly aware they exist, but tell you the truth, I don't really. I enjoy wrestling if I'm with people that also enjoy it, but I don't go out of my way to seek it out. You know what I mean?
That makes two of us.
Yeah. I just, I do the editing. I love doing music videos. Cutting wrestling to music. That's always fun. And I have one client right now, Boxing Insider Promotions. So I do, highlight reels and music videos for them as well. And they're based out of
Wonderful.
New York City, and they run shows down in Atlantic City too. So that's what I'm doing now. And
very good.
So what are you doing now? What's your what's your vibe? What do you do?
Well, you guys haven't seen me in 30 years, so you probably wonder what happened to me. Although if you were paying any attention at all, you probably saw my reality TV show that I had in 2007 called Wife, Mom, Bounty Hunter.
You know what? I heard it. I haven't seen it. I got to check it out. Do you know if it's on any platforms right now?
No, it's not. They haven't re-released it. So I had the show on DVD at my house, but then
Uh-huh.
my husband of 23 years and I divorced in June, and I left my DVDs behind and he threw them away.
Oh, shoot. Oh, well.
So I have no
But
way to access the show now.
yeah, well, I mean, that sounds interesting. So you were bounty hunting, I guess, like, Dog the Bounty Hunter. You were like the female version, I guess.
Yeah, actually, pretty much so. I had my own bail bonds agency for 13 years, did my
Hmm.
own bounty hunting. I went to private investigator school and got my PI license in California and Arizona, which allowed me to bounty hunt in California. Because in California, if you're not a bail bondsman, you have to be a private investigator to do bounty hunting.
Right.
So I was working for a very well-known bounty hunter named Zeke Unger at World Executive Protection Group in Van Nuys.
Hmm.
And then his partner, who was a former female sheriff's deputy, found out that I used to be a porn star and made him fire me. So then I went solo. I moved to Arizona, opened my own bail bonds agency, and
Hmm.
started doing my own bounty hunting. And then Hollywood came a knocking, and I got my reality show.
Awesome. Do you have any like cool stories from your bounty hunting days? Any like Robert De Niro, bounty hunting Charles Grodin and going across the country and getting shot at? I mean, I don't know.
Well, some crazy things did happen, but I think the most interesting thing was I'm sure your listeners, not the very young ones maybe, but people more our age, know who Evil Knievel is.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, well, Evil Knievel's manager, Kenny Brown, was one of my bail clients, and he jumped bond on me, and I actually had to bounty hunt him and throw him back in jail.
Wow. Evil Knievel. I still have a scar on my chest from jumping my bike over, in a ramp when I was a kid, because I was, want to be Evil Knievel.
Yeah, all the boys want to be Evil Knievel.
So yeah, thanks for the broken ribs there, Evil Knievel.
Yeah, so
Wow.
right after I left the biz, I went into radio. I was in radio for a number of years. And
Hmm.
then I had another baby in 2000, another girl, because I already had a girl when I was in the industry. So I
Right.
had another girl. And then I got married and was married for 23 years, had the bail bonds agency, had the reality TV show, did the bounty hunting. I sold my bail agency about 7 years ago, and I got
Mhm.
really bored sitting at home. So I decided to drive a school bus.
Wow.
And I drove a school bus for our local school district in southern Arizona. And that was quite fun. And what's funny is all the high school kids on my route, they all knew that I was a former porn star. And they thought that I was the coolest bus driver ever.
Well, yeah. So what was more life threatening, bounty hunting or driving a school bus?
Oh, driving a school bus, especially with the K through 8s. Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah. I never drove a school bus, but I did drive Uber for a couple of years.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, actually during the lockdown, up here in upstate New York, I made so much money when everyone was crying, you know, poverty during COVID. I was making a bunch of money. I made enough to like furnish my house and buy a car, and because nobody else was on the road. All the Uber drivers stayed home and collected unemployment. I was like, oh,
Oh,
I'll do it.
absolutely.
Yeah. So that was fun. And then I've been in upstate New York for about 5 years. I came out here in 2019, and before that, I was a stagehand for IATSE Local 33.
Very good.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun, and I actually worked with somebody who he said he was your brother, Robert.
Oh, yes, Robert Durrett. He actually
Yeah,
follows me on my Facebook page.
yeah, yeah. He was because he was like crew head or whatever, and tough taskmaster, but he was really nice. Yeah, we had a gig at the Palladium, and it was supposed to be just a 1 day job, and he ended up giving me a couple extra days. So, shout out to your bro. He always took care of me.
I actually got him into that business, into that job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, remember Tony Montana,
Oh, yes.
Julio? Yeah, he's the one that got me into that business.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think I probably got into it a little too late in life because some of that stuff. I mean, pushing those big heavy carts around and the stages and all that stuff. I would go home and have to take a day or two off to recover my my old body. Because arthritis and whatnot. But it was fun. I enjoyed it a lot. But I had the opportunity to come up here and manage my. You remember Rob Black, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. He lives up here. He lives like a couple of minutes away, and he opened a restaurant in Rochester. So I came down to help him run it and stuff like that, and I've been here ever since.
One of my dearest friends in the whole world who I've known forever, and she's actually my ex-girlfriend as well, lives in Rochester. She's been there forever.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I don't go into Rochester too much because I'm just not a city guy anymore. You know what I mean? I don't want to be in the city. I don't want to be around a lot of people and traffic and all that. So I live in the suburbs in a little place called Penfield.
Oh, that's understandable. Of course. I lived
Yeah.
for God, how did we lived in Florence, Arizona, my husband and I, which is a very small town in southern central Arizona, but it's actually the county seat of Pinal County, and it's known as the prison capital of Arizona because there's 9 prisons there, and that's where I had my bail bonds agency. But I understand what you mean about the small town thing. Oh my God. I couldn't wait to get out of there. When I divorced my husband in June, I moved up here to northern Arizona, and I like it so much more. It's not so hot.
Right. You know what? I think Vanessa Chase is up in northern Arizona too. You might run into
Really?
her. Who knows?
You
But yeah,
might want to hook me up with her.
yeah, man. Yeah, I like Arizona. I was telling Vanessa earlier, like when I was driving out here, I stopped for the night in Albuquerque and stayed at the Motel 6. And it was the nicest Motel 6 I'd ever stayed in my life.
Oh, is that right?
So if you're ever in Albuquerque, check out the Motel 6. It's awesome.
Oh, good to know. There's actually a very nice Motel 6 in Chicago as well.
Oh yeah, I've never.
Very nice.
I've only flown through Chicago. I've never been there.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've been there many times.
Yeah. I don't know. Just never had the occasion. You know what? I probably will go next year to Exotica because I did that in New Jersey about a month ago, and that was all right. That was fun. I drove down there, of course, but
I was just asked to do Exotica just a few days ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting in that you can actually make money there on the spot. You know what I mean? Instead of like the old school, like the avian shows where you would have to get sponsored by somebody and everything else. You can get your own booth and sell your own merch, and all the money goes in your pocket. It's awesome.
Nice. We love that.
And if you hustle, you can girls made some good money while they were there, so it's definitely worth checking out.
Well, certainly, and it's a good place to promote my OnlyFans page and my Loyal Fans page as well.
Yeah, I got both OnlyFans and Loyal Fans, but I don't know, man. It to me it's too much time invested for not enough return, and I don't have time to I don't have time to waste. It's like I need money in my hand right now, not the whole hustling money online thing is different than it was back in our day, you know,
Yes.
where you
Yes,
just
it
kind of,
definitely changed.
yeah, you wait for the phone to ring and say, oh, okay, I'm booked Tuesday, Wednesday,
Yeah,
and Friday. It's
exactly.
awesome. Yeah. Now you got to hustle a little bit to make that dollar. And I don't know.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how much the industry has changed since I was in it last, because as you probably read on my Facebook page, I'm going to start making movies again.
Oh, yeah.
Um, Jill Kelly and I are already plotting something together for my comeback.
Cool.
And that ought to be interesting.
Yeah. Give her my best, man.
I
She's one.
did. I told her what you said, and she said, "Mwah."
Yeah. She was a good girl, good friend. I had such a good time with her, back
Oh,
in mid 90s, like 96. Yeah, 96. I think we went out for like less than a year. But yeah, she was great.
I was actually the one who got her in the industry, and she and I knew each other before either one of us was in the adult industry.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Huh. I did not know that.
Hmm. We used to do live sex shows together, live girl sex shows at the
Mhm.
Mitchell Brothers O'Farrell Theater in San Francisco.
Oh, yeah. I remember yeah, I used to hang out there with Artie,
Oh,
crazy
yeah.
Artie back in the
And
80s, man. We just, yeah.
I
we,
worked
we,
there back in the 80s myself. And then I went back in the 90s after I had my first daughter. And I was really shocked when I found out that Jim killed Artie, because you would think it would be the other way around, right? Because Jim
I
was the
know.
more silent one and
He
Artie
was
was the crazy one.
yeah. That blew my mind too. I was like,
I
what?
know, right?
Because I did a shoot with them, like it was on a boat. And yeah, like you said, Jim was the quiet one, and Artie was the one that was,
You Mr. Party Hound. Oh, yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, I liked Artie a lot, man. He was cool. Actually, the last time I saw him was at the AVN Awards, and I think that was the year that I hosted. Ugh. And and he was like all fucked up, man. And he came to me, he goes, hey man, see that girl right there? I go, yeah. He goes, yeah, that's my daughter. She really wants to fuck you. And I just kind of went, okay, all right, Artie. Yeah, man, I gotta do some things and I gotta do some stuff after the show. I appreciate the offer, but yeah, and that was the last time I ever saw him. Like maybe 4 months later, Joey Silvera calls me up and goes, "Hey, man, Jim killed Artie." I said, "What?"
Yeah, I know. It was a shock.
Yeah, yeah. And then I remember that. Hello, what happened? We lost her. Come back. Please come back. We've lost Tyffany. Hopefully she will come back, because we still got about a good 20 minutes to go. So there she is. She came back. Something happened, but we'll bring her right back. Oh, there she is.
There I
Hello.
am. I don't know what happened. You just suddenly disappeared.
No, you disappeared. It wasn't me. You disappeared.
Oh,
But now you're
if you
back.
say so. It's your show. You call the shots.
Yeah. So let's see. How many? I know we did a few scenes together.
We did.
Do you remember, like, I don't know. Every time I was booked to work with you, I was like, yeah, yeah. I always had a good time with you. We always had a good time working together. But I can't remember.
Oh, thank you.
I can't remember how many times we did work together.
Not many, maybe just a
Yeah,
handful.
yeah. That's why. Yeah, it was like I know I worked with her enough that it was like I wanted more. It wasn't like, say, Nina Hartley. Okay, bless her heart, but I worked with her way too many fucking times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you weren't like and let's see. Oh, didn't you used to be married to Jeff Hickey?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, yeah, I remember old Jeff.
We're
Good old
still friends. We talk.
yeah. I think he wasn't he in the union as well as a stagehand?
Yes.
Yeah, because he had hit me. I think after I'd moved to to New York and was asking me about, the units. I'm not in it anymore. I moved up to New York. But yeah, he hit me a few years ago asking me about, because he wanted to get back in. So I don't know whatever happened with that.
Yeah, I have no idea. I talk to him here and there. Every
Yeah.
time I do something crazy, I always hear from him. And since I'm always doing crazy stuff, I hear from him quite a bit.
Yeah, I always remember he was a good writer.
Oh, he's an excellent writer,
Yeah.
extremely talented. Yeah,
Yeah.
extremely talented writer, very creative.
Has he ever written a book? I mean, I know
He
he.
actually he actually did write a book,
Mhm.
and it got he had it stored on either a computer or external drive or a laptop or something, and something happened to the device that he had it stored to, and he
Oh,
lost the whole thing.
oh, that sucks, man. That must
Yeah,
have
and
been.
he didn't
bef-
just want to go back and redo it.
Oh
It's
yeah, I
that's tough.
mean, yeah, yeah. That must have been the days before cloud. Like I put everything
Yes.
on my cloud now, so it never goes away.
Yes.
You know. But yeah, I actually have a book coming out. Not that I wrote, because I'm a pretty good writer, but I don't have the discipline to write an entire book myself.
Me either.
So this guy, Mike Sager, is writing it, and it's not like an autobiography or as told to kind of thing. It's basically him writing a book about me and my life, you know,
Hmm.
and just the fact that I'm in porn, but it's not a book about porn, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? It's
Yes,
about
that makes perfect sense.
yeah. And Mike is he. If you, have you ever seen Boogie Nights or Wonderland?
I auditioned for Boogie Nights.
Oh, great. Well, the story that inspired that movie was written by Mike Sager. Because
Okay.
yeah, because that movie and Wonderland were inspired by an article that Sager had wrote in Rolling Stone, and actually that's where I met him, because he was on a Paul Thomas set, doing research for this, the story he was writing for Rolling Stone about John Holmes, and we kept in contact over the years, and now he's writing my life story, and hopefully
Well,
it'll
that
be
ought to be very interesting. I have
yeah.
Ron Jeremy and Jenna's book
Oh yeah,
because I'm talked about in both of them. So of course I was curious and I had to go get the books and see what they said about me.
yeah. I don't think I've read either one of them. I got a what do you call it? Internet version. What do you call it when it's an internet book? Whatever. Of Tracy's book.
Ebook.
Tracy, yeah, ebook of Tracy Lords. Because obviously, and she wrote about it. It was all bullshit, but I had to see what she was writing about me.
You did the same thing you had to see.
Yeah, yeah. Said I claim to be your boyfriend. It's like, okay, whatever. But yeah, that's yeah. I don't know how many. I think I'm in Jerry Butler's book for a minute, but like I said, I'm. That's why I got Sager to do this, because I'm not really interested in porn star books. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's like I already know all the stories. I already, I don't need to know Ron Jeremy's like history. You know what I mean? I know the guy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and and also I told Mike, it's like I don't want this just to be a book about how great this girl was, or because that's what the porn fans want. They want stories about what was Kay Parker like, what was Nina Hartley
Yes.
like, and it's not going to be like that. It's going to be about me, and in the background is the porn business, but the center stage is me. So, and hopefully we'll make a movie out of it. Knock on
Well,
wood.
that would be wonderful.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm looking to ride off into the sunset with some kind of golden parachute or something.
Well, out of all the things I've done in my life, between, doing the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, doing Wife, Mom, Bounty Hunter, doing radio, and doing porn was by far my favorite.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was by far my favorite. And people always say, oh, yeah, because you got to have sex. No, it had nothing to do with the sex. I can get laid anytime I want. I
Right.
don't I don't need the porn biz to get laid. But
Yeah.
It was the sense of camaraderie between all of us.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, I don't want to use a cliche family, but it was,
It
you know,
was a family.
we all knew each other. We not only the people that we were working with, you know, the people working, you know, outside the frame, like the camera guys, you know, the same camera guys, the same lighting guys, the same,
Yes.
you know. So it'd be like, we just, you know, I'm hanging out with my friends and they're, you know, watching me fuck this girl. I don't know.
And
Because
those were always my favorite people. The guys behind the scenes, they were always the ones I paid the most attention to because they were my
oh yeah,
favorites.
yeah. I know a couple of more, you know, a couple of more of my pot dealers, you know, so I always make sure I was taken care of on the set and off the set. So, hey, I'm Tom Byron, host of That Dude Podcast, sponsored by Green Genie. Your wish is my command. How good are Green Genie gummies? Let me tell you. Green Genie gummies are so strong they will quickly turn this dude into that dude. So go to greengenieny.com. That's greengenieny.com. They got gummies, they got chocolates, they got cooking oil, everything to help make America stoned again. greengenieny.com. Go now.
And I never got into marijuana. I've never been a smoker, but my current boyfriend, I'm 58 now, and my boyfriend is 23, just so you know.
Oh, nice.
And he smokes those wax pens, and
Okay.
he let me try his, and I actually really like it, but I only like the sativa. I don't like the indica. And I think it's a hybrid, but it's heavy on the sativa.
Yeah, sativa's more keeps you, you know, up.
Yeah,
I mean,
indica makes me paranoid.
yeah, and it makes you sleepy. That's why I pretty much only do like gummies or edibles now because you know I got some lung issues. You know, years of smoking. You know, I finally quit.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. So you know, plus I was smoking, you know, weed all the time. You know, so the lungs. You know, I'm 63 now, so I gotta take care of myself now. You know, gotta eat right, can't smoke. You know, gotta exercise, all that good shit. You know. But you know, for 63, you know, I look all right.
Yeah, you do. You actually look great, Tommy. I think you look better than ever. Age has been very good to you.
Yeah. I don't genetics and part like I quit all the really bad stuff before it became, you know, an issue. Like, you know, like my hard drugs phase was the 80s with cocaine, the early 90s with little crystal meth. And then by like the time you came along, I was over all that shit. I was like,
You were already done.
Yeah, I was done with it. You know, it's like, plus
Well,
there was
you
all that.
remember me when I'm sorry, you remember me when I was in the biz. I was heavy into weightlifting and working out. I was
Oh
buff
yeah.
when I
Oh yeah.
yeah. And
That's why I
then
like working with you.
huh?
That was one of the reasons I like working with you because your body was just so
Oh, well,
sculptured and
thank
nice.
you. And
Yeah.
I continued to train and work out up until 2012. And then in 2012, I had some major problems with my health that caused me to stop working out. And it went on for about 10 years, 8 years, 8 to 10 years. And I just never went back to the gym. So I'm all soft now, but I'm still a size 6. I never got fat.
Yeah. It's always, you know what, once you get into a regimen and then you take off for a while, it's hard to get back into it. You know
It
what I mean?
is.
Because I used to go to a personal trainer like, you know, like 5 days a week and do the thing and all that. And, you know, I don't know, I think I had a like a back strain or whatever, and I just couldn't do anything for a couple of months, and I just kind of fell off of it, you know. Then I moved up here, and it was just like, I don't know. I need to get like at least do elliptical machine or something, you know.
Well, I'm getting my exercise with a 23-year-old guy, so I'm
That'll
getting
work.
plenty of cardio.
You could do, yeah, that'll work too. Absolutely. 23
I'm
year
such
old.
a
Wow.
super cougar.
But what do you talk about? Like I always like it, think about, oh, you know, if I had an 18 or 19-year-old girlfriend, you know, it'd be great because, you know, they look good and everything, but it's like, I don't know, it's like, what do you talk about with
My
them,
gosh,
you
we
know?
talk about so much. He's so smart and witty, and
Yeah.
he constantly has me laughing. He has such a sardonic, sarcastic, dark sense of humor, which I love, and always has me in stitches. But we talk about everything from politics to world events to,
Hmm.
local events to our past to, all kinds of stuff. He has plenty to talk about.
Yeah, that's cool. I guess I
Hmm.
haven't met the right one. I just took a new job at a movie theater, you know, selling concessions and
Did not.
taking it. Yeah, I did. Yeah. And
Well, you want to know what I do on the side?
what do you do?
I'm an Amazon Flex driver.
Oh, right on, right on. I thought about doing that. But you know, living here in upstate New York, I really don't want to drive around too much in the snow. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I did it during Uber, and it was, you know, it was okay, and I got used to it and everything. But just I don't know. The movie theater that I work at is literally right around the corner from my house, so there's
Nice.
no, you
So you
know,
can walk
it's like,
there.
well, yeah, if I felt like walking, but I don't. Uh, but yeah, I don't want any another job where I have to drive through that snow again, especially, you know, if it's not worth the, you know, because back when the Uber money was great, it was like, oh, okay, I'll deal with the snow because I'm making, you know, $1,500 a month, so, you know, I'll deal with it, but I don't want to do it now. That's why I got the
Well,
job real close by.
well, it does. I live near Prescott, Arizona, and it does
Hmm.
snow here, but it doesn't stay on the ground very long. But
Yeah,
Amazon sends me up to Flagstaff a lot, and it does
right.
snow there. So I just recently got all-terrain tires put on my car in preparation for winter because I know I'm going to have a difficult time, once winter hits and it starts snowing up there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the snow so much. It's the ice, you know, the roads.
Yes, the
The-
black eyes especially.
yeah, so I mean, if there's snow on the ground, doesn't really bother. But if it's cold enough to where there's a whole sheet of ice on the road, I'm like, oh man, where you got to drive like 2 miles an hour and
Yeah.
gripping the wheel like, rah!
But Tommy, if
But
people only knew who was walking up to their door and delivering their packages.
yeah. Well, I actually, there's a thing called Instacart. Have you ever heard of it? Where you
Yes.
shop for people. I actually just I signed up for that, but there was a waiting list or whatever, and they just hit me back like today actually, and so I'm gonna sign up to do that, but I'm only gonna do it in my area. You know what I mean? I'm not.
Hmm.
You know, I don't want to drive around, so I'll give that a shot for, you know, my when I have time off between my movie theater job.
Well, in
But
addition to doing that, so in case anybody wants to know what I'm doing these days, I do Amazon Flex mainly to keep me busy so I don't get bored,
same
because the
here.
money's okay, but it's just like money that I use to pay my credit card bill. But I
Mhm.
run my OnlyFans page, I run my Loyal Fans page. I'm getting back into the business after a 30-year
Cool.
hiatus, and I've recently been cast in two non-porn erotic films, so
Right
I'll be
on.
doing those after the first of the year that are, dialogue based films.
Oh, cool, cool. Yeah, I got to reach out to my buddy Jim Wynorski. Do you know him, Jim
No.
Wynorski? He's a director. He does like you know, little titty slasher movie. You know, remember Chopping Mall? You ever hear of Chopping Mall?
Yes.
He directed that.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's done like I want to say, did he do Sharknado? But that's the type of films, kind of like like kind of goofy, sexy, comedy, horror kind of stuff. But we've been active, on Facebook and stuff, and I'm actually going to have him on the show at some point. Maybe I'll start doing that too. Some,
Fun.
some, yeah, do some acting
I did a lot of
because
those types of films before I was in the adult industry. I'm SAG
right.
and AFTRA, and I
Mhm.
did, in addition to doing the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, I was also doing a lot of like B movies and television appearances. So
Mhm.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. I did a lot of those like crazy horror, funny, campy type films.
Yeah, there were a lot of them, because they
Yeah,
had Showtime and Cinemax. They needed content, so
and selling
yeah.
them at the gas station in the bargain bin.
Right. Yeah, I let's see. Yeah, I got my SAG card in '85, I think, for one film. It was a 52 pickup. John Frankenheimer, Roy Scheider, and Margaret was
Oh,
in it.
okay. You were in that?
Yeah. For you blink, you miss me. I'm
Oh,
walking by.
okay.
I'm walking by as Amber Lynn's flashing the camera, and I'm like, walking by. You see my face real quick, but I got my SAG card from it.
Hey,
But I
whatever
never,
works, man.
yeah, but I never pursued mainstream because I was working enough in my chosen profession, and you know. But I think I might start trying to get into that, little mainstream,
You
cameo roles or
absolutely
whatever.
should. I'm sure that there would be a very warm reception for you.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't able to do it like because I had like dental surgery, like over the last year and a half. But I basically these are all implants.
Oh,
Uh,
okay, nice.
because what had happened is I got those veneers in 97. I think I got veneers on my upper teeth.
Yeah, I
And
got him in 88. I know.
yeah, and what they don't tell you is if they apparently don't last you for the rest of your life because they
No,
started
they do not. Mine need to be
it's,
replaced too.
yeah, they started falling out, one at a time, and then a bridge fell out, and all of a sudden I looked like Snaggletooth, So I just, went and got them all taken out and was like, give me new ones. Now got new
Oh,
teeth.
they're beautiful. Yeah, I call that summer teeth. Summer here,
Yeah.
summer there.
So yeah, maybe I should do. Are resumes still a thing? You have
I
to come up.
wouldn't know. I've been out of the loop for so long.
I know, me too. Me too. I just reactivated my SAG card though. I called them up and so hopefully, I don't know. I should be getting something in the mail because I did it like a month ago. They owe me like $180 in residuals.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
I still get my residual checks in the mail. I always update my address with them.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah. I got some good checks there for a while, but then, like I said, I just never pursued any other mainstream parts because oh, porn was better.
Yeah, exactly. And then people would be shocked if they knew how little I was paid for Wife Mom Bounty Hunter. They think that, oh, she's on TV, she must be rich. Oh, please. The pay sucks for reality TV, unless like
Does
you're
it?
on like, your third or fourth or fifth season. But for a first season reality show, the money was horrible. I didn't want to do it anymore because it was taking time away from my bail bonds and my bounty hunting. And I made way more money doing that.
Yeah, but were you able to take advantage of like the conventions and stuff like that? Like, because you were, I mean, how long did that show go on for? For one
It
season or?
It was just one season because the silly gooses didn't do a check on me before they cast me in the show. And they found out that I was a former porn star after we'd already like filming was underway. So they went ahead and rolled with it and then didn't renew it for a second season because I was a former porn star. But that was total stupidity on their part because
That's
can you
lame.
imagine the interest that would have been drummed up in the
Yeah,
show if they would have
exactly.
advertised that we have a former porn star who's a bounty hunter?
Exactly. That's a pitch right there. I mean,
Thank
that's
you.
money. That's money.
Yeah.
I don't know whoever made that decision. That's insane. I
And
mean,
the show was so
that
popular too. It was very popular.
huh. Fire your agent. Whoever set that up.
It
Fire
wasn't
him.
my agent. My agent was Sherry Spillane. She's wonderful.
Oh,
It was the sponsors of the show. Same reason why Chris Carter couldn't get me on the X Files. You know, Chris Carter, the creator of X Files, he was a
hmm,
huge fan of mine and he wanted me on the show. And when he pitched it, the show sponsors turned it down because I was a former porn star.
I don't know. It's just some sponsors. Sponsors always fuck shit up. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
don't they?
Yeah.
I don't think it's so much like that anymore, though. I think that it's a lot easier to cross over now than it was back in our day. I think it's
Yeah.
more accepted now because
Yeah.
obviously, I mean, I'm going back in the biz and I just got cast in 2 non-porn films, and the producer director knows very well that not only that I'm a past porn star, but that I'm currently re-entering the business, and he still
Uh,
cast me. So, it's not the big dark mark, dark stain on your past that it used to
yeah.
be.
Yeah. But that. I mean, I sort of understand it, but that's an older perspective as far as like sponsors thinking that the public won't buy their shit because you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when Harry Reams, he was originally cast as Coach Calhoun in the original movie Grease,
Oh,
and
did not know that.
yeah, I mean he was cast and had already started shooting and everything else, and then the sponsors, found out who he was, and he got bounced from Greece, which would have been huge for not only him but I mean the business, because that was
Well,
a
when
huge,
I
huge
when
movie.
I first got out of the business, a couple of our directors were also directing mainstream stuff, as you know, and
Hmm.
especially like Mike Sedan and a few of the others. And they contacted me and wanted to work with me on the straight side, but they said you need to give it at least a year or two being out of the business before I'll work with you. And that's people from our industry.
Wow. Well, shit, I've been out for over 10 years, so I should be good.
Yeah,
Mike
you should be way good.
Mike Sedan, I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah, I know, right?
We did a movie called Bush Pilots because I remember he was a pilot. He could fly a plane.
Didn't
So
know that.
yeah, we did a movie called I think this girl Rain was in it. And yeah, we had sex in an airplane while it was flying. It was awesome.
All right, that's great. Like a Cessna or a prop plane or what?
Yeah. It was one of those. I don't know. Yeah, it was a one guy driving it, and yeah, it wasn't a 747 or anything like
Right.
that.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
wasn't like joining the Mile High Club or anything.
right. Which I actually did do that
I still
with
haven't done that.
with Sharon Mitchell. We were on our way to Europe for some shoot. I think Freddie Lincoln or something like that. And I don't know. We just sitting there go, you know what? I'm not a member of the Mile High Club. Are you? And she goes, well, yeah. I go, well, I want to be a member of the Mile High Club. She goes, okay, come on. We went to the bathroom and just,
Good old Sharon.
real quick, But yeah, Sharon Mitchell made me a member of the Mile High Club.
Awesome.
So what's the typical day for Tyffany Million? I mean, what? Because I'm a foodie. I actually talked about this with Vanessa earlier. What do you like to eat? What's your favorite food?
Oh, hands down, barbecue pork ribs. Anybody
Oh
who
yeah,
knows me knows that.
that works. That works.
We have
I
a
don't
great
know.
barbecue joint right down the street here. And that's where I went. And I don't know if you saw on my Facebook page that one of my fans flew over from Ireland and wanted to shoot a self-pleasuring video with me for his private collection. So the day before we shot the video, he took me out to lunch at this local barbecue joint that we have here. And we had such a great time. The video went off tremendously, and I uploaded it to both of my pages. He actually gave me a copy and let me upload it. What a good sport he is.
Oh, right on. Yeah, no, I like barbecue. There was a place in Van Nuys called Hoggly Woggly's, Tyler,
Oh
Texas
yeah, Dr.
barbecue.
Hogley Wogley's. I used to love that
Yeah,
place.
yeah. When we first started Extreme, we had an office in Van Nuys, was like 5 minutes away from there. So yeah, we used to order from Hoggly Woggly's all the time. You know, we'd have
I used to
our
love to go there. I love me some barbecue pork ribs and barbecue brisket.
yeah, and that brisket, it just fell apart. I don't
Fell apart. Oh
love
yeah.
it. Shit, now I'm getting hungry. You know what? I'm gonna take a gummy right now.
You do that. And while
Yeah,
you're
let's
taking your gummy, I'll answer your question. What's a typical day like for me? Is that what you were going to say?
yeah.
Typical day, I'm usually up by 4 o'clock in the morning, have my coffee, chat with my fans on my Facebook page, because by time morning rolls around, I have like 100 messenger messages and like 200 friend requests to go through. So I take care of all my Facebook business, and then I have another cup of coffee. Then I straighten my room, and by then my boyfriend is waking up, so I'm usually texting with him for a while. And if he has the day off, he comes over and fucks my brains out.
Right on. Is it
And then I
is
go
it
to work at Amazon, come home, and then he comes back over and fucks my brains out some more.
oh, see, that's why you got a 23-year-old boyfriend.
And I
Yeah,
happen to really like him as well as a
that's
person.
that's a bonus.
Yeah.
Um, isn't the solitude of 4 a.m. amazing?
I have always been an early to bed, early rise kind of person ever since
Hmm.
I can remember. And I do. I love the peace and serenity and the
Yeah.
stillness of the early morning.
Yeah, I that was my routine when I was doing Uber. I'd get up at 4 and hit the road by 6, to get the people going to work and whatnot. But yeah, I just love how quiet it was at
Yeah.
4 a.m. Like, literally nobody, even in LA, because I did it, for a while in LA. Even in LA, it was like so quiet. I loved it.
Now, speaking of driving for a living, because we kind of touched on that, you doing Uber and me doing school bus and Amazon Flex.
Mhm.
Ron Jeremy, the last time I spoke to him about 2 weeks before he went to jail. He said that Jerry Butler was also driving a school bus.
He was driving. Yeah, he was driving a school bus in I think Brooklyn or whatever.
Oh, is
Like,
that right?
yeah, special needs kids. Yeah, he
Oh,
was.
more props to him. I couldn't do that.
Yeah, yeah. He's another one we lost a few years ago.
Oh, did
Sure.
he? He really? He passed away. I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. He got cancer. Like and he wasn't that old. He was like, I think it was the early 50s, and yeah, he had some kind of fell off his bike or something, and like they found it, like when they were treating the injury for his bike accident or whatever, and was like, by the time they got it, was like it was too late. So yeah, yep,
Oh, wow.
yeah, good old Jerry. I always liked him, even though
Yeah, yeah. I like Jerry Butler.
he was like a crazy motherfucker, but I always got along with him.
You know, my favorite, nothing personal, of course, but my favorite guy to work with in the business was Shawn Michaels.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, and the other day I was talking to Michael Stefano on Facebook Messenger, and I guess he's really good friends with Sean. And
Hmm.
he asked me, he said, "Well, who was your favorite guy to work with in the industry?" And I said, "Shawn Michaels." And he said, "Well, that's really funny because Sean said that you were his favorite girl to work with." I said, "Really?" Had
Yeah.
no
No.
idea. Like, I wish I would have known that when I was in the business.
Yeah, no, Sean, I mean, he was one of my go-to guys when I was, doing the Gonzo thing. I mean, him and Mark Davis were, and then of course Michael Stefano used to be Luciano. He was our contract guy at
Uh-huh.
Extreme Associates. I actually taught him how to shoot camera and edit.
Oh,
So
did you really?
yeah, yeah, he was he turned out to be a good cameraman too.
Yeah, we
But
chat
yeah,
quite frequently.
yeah. Well, give him my best when you see him. I'd like
I
to get him on
certainly
the show.
will.
Tell him, give him my info. I'm gonna have him on the show too, because we got a lot of stories between us. Well, I used to take Shawn Michaels whenever I go to Europe or shoot or whatever. I always bring, because he's a great traveling partner. You know what I mean? He knows how to. Him and Mark Davis, they know how to get around Europe and not be, American. Because you got to kind of.
And not be American, exactly.
Yeah, you got to kind of
Not
keep a low
stand out like a
profile.
sore thumb.
Exactly. So yeah, they were my go-to guys whenever I had to travel to Europe or shoot or do anything like that. So they were good guys.
I actually
Mike
just
too.
requested Mark on Facebook, and he hasn't gotten back to me yet.
Yeah, I hit him up because I wanted him on the show too, and yeah, I hit him up maybe 3 weeks ago. He may be like out of the country because he married like a lady that's into like doing humanitarian shit in like Africa and all that stuff. So he goes on a lot of those little safaris or whatever you call it, So
Right.
yeah, a lot of time he's out in some jungle somewhere. So that's probably but when he's on Facebook he's there. But yeah, that's probably why he hasn't gotten back to either one of us. So.
And let me ask you a question. Does Nina have a Facebook page? Because I've tried finding her, and there's so many fake Nina Hartley pages.
Oh, tell me about it. Yeah. Actually, I'm not sure. I know she's on X on Twitter at
Okay.
Nina Land.
Yeah, Nina Land. Okay.
Yeah, on Twitter, but I'm not. She might not be on Facebook. I'm not sure. I don't think she's on Facebook. Don't quote me on that.
Okay, yeah, because I tried finding her. I just found Jill Kelly just last week.
Yeah.
We reconnected, and let me think. There was a few others that I was trying to reestablish contact with. Terry Weigel, and I've tried reestablishing with her and a bunch of the old crew.
Yeah, Terry Weigel. I put her on the cover of my season players series, and it sold. Her and Nina were my two biggest sellers.
Oh, really?
My two biggest cover girl sellers. But yeah, I like old Terry. I did one of her first scenes when he got into porn. It was like a big deal because she was like, Playboy playmate, and I knew who she was. I was like, oh, I know you.
I didn't keep in touch with a whole lot of people over the 30 years, but the one person that I did always keep in touch with was Michael Nin. He and I, we stayed in touch the entire time that I was out of the business. So, but Dirty Bob, I've always stayed in touch with Dirty Bob.
Yeah.
Ron Jeremy, I've always stayed in touch with him. That's pretty much it. I was under a rock. I was married for 23 years to a man 12 years younger than me. Wonderful man, by the way. I'd like to say that my ex-husband and I, it was a mutual divorce. It was not an angry divorce. We didn't fight.
That's good.
We parted as friends. We still talk, and I have nothing bad to say about him. He is a tremendously wonderful human being.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now you say you keep in. I mean, have you been in contact with Ronnie lately, or?
Well, no, because he was locked up, and I haven't spoken to him since he got out. But I did speak to him shortly before he went in.
Right. Yeah, I wonder if because that dementia thing, man, that's a hard one, man.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, Rob just lost his dad a couple of months ago.
Oh, goodness.
He had Parkinson's and dementia. And it's not a good way to go, God bless him.
Well, that was the whole reason why I even got out of the industry to begin with, was because my father passed away, and I had to fly up to Montana to deal with his estate, and I was the executor, and it just became too much for me. And so I retracted from the business, and while I was on hiatus from the business, I got approached to do radio. So I decided to go straight and do radio, and I just kind of stayed away, and then I got married.
Yeah, you got a good radio voice.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Well, we're coming up on an hour. So Anything you want to talk about, promote, discuss, questions, anything that pops to mind?
Well, I just like to just tell everybody that you can reach me on Facebook. It's under
Yep.
Tyffany Million,
With a Y.
Tyffany Million. It's spelled Ty. And you can find me on OnlyFans slash Tyffany Million, Loyal
Hmm.
Fans slash Tyffany Million. And you can expect to see me this year returning to the adult film business. And I'm really glad that MILFs and GILFs are hot now because I'm not only a MILF twice, but I'm also a GILF. I have 4 grandsons.
Yeah. It's too bad you weren't around in the 2007 to 10 era when I was doing my season players series. Because I had a series called Season Players. So it was about, MILFs, and, it won a bunch of awards. But
Oh, wonderful.
yeah, that would have been fun. But what are you going to do?
Dirty Bob wants to get me on Milfy. We're still working on it.
Right on. Get that money, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. My problem is I don't look 58.
Mm, yeah, I don't know. I feel 63 though.
You feel it? Man, I don't. I don't
Yeah.
feel a day over 17.
Nah. Well, I got all this, diabetes, hypertension, all this, arthritis. It's, getting old shit. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I understand that. I know the aches and pains for sure. When I wake up every morning, it takes you like 2 minutes to stand up straight.
Oh, dude, I mean, I give myself 3 hours before I have to go. If I have to go somewhere and I have to be there at a certain time, I'll get up 3 hours before, just to make sure so I can sit there for an hour and moan and drink coffee and pet my cats and watch news. But then, yeah, I don't know. You know what? The gummy's starting to fucking hit me. So
Okay.
I'm gonna close. I'm gonna close this out, and I'm gonna go and make some linguine with clams. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was wonderful talking to you, Tiffany, after all these
You too,
years.
Tommy.
And the very best to you. Say hello to your 23-year-old little man.
I'll tell him.
And I'll talk to you again.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you
Kisses.
so much. Thank you so
Bye,
much.
honey.